Cedric Burnside, welcome to eTown. So glad you're here. You made the trip from, I don't know where, Holly Springs. I don't know what town you live in.
Ashland, Mississippi.
Ashland, Mississippi. And you got his mic on? Yeah. Yeah. Ashland, Mississippi. And
One,
so,
two. All right.
Yeah. I'm just so curious about the scene. So Hill Country is what part of Mississippi? Just northern?
North Mississippi.
North Mississippi, yeah. And you grew up with your grandparents a lot, right?
Correct. Yeah, my big daddy was a sharecropper.
Big Daddy is R.L. Burnside.
Big daddy is R.L.
Yeah.
My grandfather, for those who don't know what Big Daddy is.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a sharecropper, and I was one of many grandchildren, sitting around, watching him get off the tractor and come in the house and get ready for the house party, to make a little bit of extra money. And I was one of many grandchildren just sitting there in amazement, as they was doing it, saying to myself, I'm going to play that music one day.
Yeah. And so the house party was in your house?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's at my house on the front porch sometimes, and sometimes we would swears up in the front room,
How often did that happen?
It was every other weekend, until I was about 10, 12 years old.
And people would come from the neighborhood, and a bunch of people would come.
Oh, yeah, they would come from miles around, man.
Yeah. How many people lived in the house?
Woo! Wow. Seriously, man, it was about 20 people at least, if not more. And
Wow.
we stayed in, and I'm not saying this to, for anybody to feel sorry for me, but we stayed in a little shack house. And it was about 4 rooms total. We didn't have a toilet, didn't have a bathtub, no running water. I used a belt, one of these, and just put a couple milk jugs around the belt, put it on my shoulder, and we hauled water, 2 or 3 times a day for years.
Wow.
Wow. That's where I come from. But the music made it really, really, beautiful. We didn't even know we was poor,
And the music is special to that place. It's special to that part of North Mississippi because it's different from the music in Clarksdale or other parts of the state, right?
Correct.
It's to me, it feels a little bit more like, it's hypnotic. It's almost like trance blues or something like that. I don't know how to describe it.
I hear that a lot, man. But the best way I can describe Hill Country Blues is just a music within itself. It's quite different from any other blues you might hear. I think what sticks out about it is the unorthodox rhythm of the music.
Yeah.
What I think sticks out the most about it.
And it's music that comes from the country. You lived in the country, right? You were connected to nature. You were
deep in the sticks.
Yeah, deep in the sticks. Yeah.
I'm still there.
Yeah.
Still deep in the sticks.
Are you still in that same neighborhood?
Well, I grew up in a little town called Chulahoma on the outskirts of Holly Springs, but I stay in a little town called Ashland now.
Yeah.
Still woody.
And so now that it's you, because your Big Daddy, he R.L. died 20 years ago or something, right?
Yeah, 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now that you're carrying the torch, where do you go to write songs or to be inspired to make your contribution to this tradition?
Well, I spend a lot of my time, writing my songs at home, right on the porch. And sometimes I go out in the woods, listen at the birds chirp. I just get, creative in nature, But I can write anywhere, but that's where I write most of my music.
That's cool. And I know that Luther and Cody Dickinson are good friends to this show and friends of ours, and they've been part of your music scene for a long time, right?
Those are definitely my brothers from another mother.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so is there a nice community around where you live of people who play music and kind of keep track of each other? And
Yeah, it's still going. I got a very musical family.
Yeah.
I got uncles that play, Gary Burnside, Dwayne Burnside.
Oh, yeah.
Got a cousin that played Kent Burnside. But yeah, they try to keep it alive.
Yeah. And as I understand it, your latest record, Hill Country Love, was nominated for a Grammy. You already won a Grammy for your last record, right?
To God be the glory.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
did that change things when you went home? Or like, oh, here he comes. You won a Grammy. Here he comes. Give him an extra big piece of pie when he walks in. Yeah. Does that change things at all for you?
Well, it definitely changed.
Yeah.
But for the better, for sure. It just put me on a different level with music and just with venues, period.
Yeah.
And because, my Big Daddy really showed me the ropes. He opened the door for the Burnside family, as well as other, great musicians who love this style of music, Hill Country Blues. But nobody around that area ever won a Grammy, so I was the first one to bring a Grammy home.
Yeah.
For the Hill Country area.
Yeah.
And, as I was going up there to pick it up, I just saw my Big Daddy face. I saw his smile on his face, and Junior Kimbrough and, Otha Turner, all the, Hill Country legends.
Yeah, that's cool. I have to ask you one more thing, which is, I'm just trying to imagine you as a 12-year-old drummer, 13-year-old drummer, playing with your grandfather at juke joints and parties and traveling around, and then you must have stayed up late and seen a lot of things that most 12 and 13-year-olds, you didn't see anything. Then what? Then did you go to school and, crack of dawn the next day? How did that work?
I did, man.
You did?
I'm like, was you in my house?
No, man. I might have been there. Yeah, I don't remember.
No, man, but that's just how it was. I started playing the drums for the first time about 7 years old, and I sounded awful. And but I guess just really breaking the ice and throwing all the butterflies away, getting up there was the best thing I could have did. Just building up the courage to do it. And people was there. They was like, they didn't say I sounded good. They just say, look at that little young boy, he's gonna be good someday. Yeah. So by the time I was 10 years old, I was good enough to play in the juke joints. So my Uncle Gary Burnside, he was 12, and he was playing the bass, and I was 10 playing the drums, and they was hiding us behind the beer coolers, when the police come in. But we was the house band,
That's pretty cool. Well, you must have been good enough because your grandfather took you on the road with him, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you did that for a while.
I thank him so much.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's cool just to, again, I think that, I don't know whether it's technology or the fact that we're more mobile as a society or people move around or that we imagine things are better elsewhere. I don't know. But the fact that you stayed not only connected to your family, connected to where your family comes from and connected to the musical tradition that your family helped create, it's a beautiful thing to continue and to be a part of. So
thank you.
Congratulations for sticking with it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to music. Welcome back,
All right.
Cedric Burnside.